Hello, and welcome back to Common Sense for Relationships. How are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful time wherever you are, and I would love to know where you are. So please go ahead and in the comments, let us know where you're joining us from. Thanks for joining the live, and for everyone who will come and watch this live later on. Thank you also for spending some time with us here. You know, on this show, we bring you valuable information to help you make better decisions in your lives and in your relationships. And today, we're going to be addressing the common questions, difficult questions that singles ask. We're still on our theme, which is handling difficult conversations. And today we also have someone with us on set who will really be helping us address these serious issues that singles face on a daily basis. So if you are single, stay tuned. If you have someone that is dear to you who is single and you want to be able to help them, stay tuned. In fact, send this link to them right now so that they can join this live show. And the benefit of the live, like you know, is that you can actually ask questions and share your thoughts and your comments, and we will pick those up so we can address your questions right away. And you can also join in the banter in the comment section, which is usually really interesting and exciting. So everybody, you are welcome. Let's see what the comments are so we can say hello to our friends who have already joined us. I know Debbie is with us already. Debbie, you are welcome. Queen Debbie, thank you so much for joining as usual on time. We can use this to start as the marker for when the show starts. Thank you so much. And everyone else, you're welcome. You know, my name is Aniete Bature, and I am your relationship coach. Yes. And with me in the studio today is my husband, Kingsley Bature.
I'm your guy, you know. Today, I hope everybody can see what I'm wearing. There's a reason why I'm wearing this shirt on show today. Do you understand? It's not every day that you go to somebody's house and you flog them 5 something. You understand? So Arsenal are doing well. Arsenal are doing well. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And also we have with us in the studio a young guy who likes making noise on social media.
He's a social media enthusiast.
Yes, and he complains about all things reasonable and unreasonable. Yes, but he's in touch with he's in touch with what's going on with the singles, and he's here representing them today. He is no other than Kingsley Asuko KJ. Is there something you want to add?
Do I really complain about
You're on your own?
No, so what she's saying in essence is that you normally talk from sense to nonsense.
I shall talk.
You shall talk,
Yes.
right?
I shall talk.
Yeah.
So it's great having. No, it's great being here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yes. We're happy to have you on the show today. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. All right, so difficult conversations, common questions singles ask. Okay, we'll take it from the comments. I see Omar, is that Omoranze?
Yeah.
Hey, Omoranze, hello. She said, yes, we can.
Okay,
Yes, we
that's
can.
about
too.
the sound to be sure that they can hear.
Oh,
the
yes,
sound.
fantastic. Awesome. Okay.
Someone said they thought about me
KG,
today.
they said they thought of
God.
you today. Hi. Oh, all the way from South Africa, they are thinking about you.
See,
Oh Lord.
Deep connect, something deep. You want to go there? Wait, see me after now.
Okay, I go need buy ticket. Maybe you go see you. You go need buy ticket.
So you're very happy now. You're feeling important.
No,
Yes.
I mean, it feels good. It feels good. Anyways, talking about this question, I actually came with a plethora of questions that I feel like my peers are facing. So you know,
Okay.
you people are the experts. So
Mm.
I'll just be throwing
The
throwing
question.
the question.
Okay.
So you people in your capacity and knowledge, namaste. In your capacity and knowledge will help us out. You know, I represent the singles. This year hasn't actually been easy for all of us. We singles. Like the torture is real.
Wow.
From social media to real life and all of that is real. So yes, so I penned down a couple of questions. So I, you know, pardon me for actually
Shoot.
reading.
Let's go.
Because when I was penning, I was like, KJ, you have to write the one that also affected you. So I'll start with that one. Gonsi.
One that affected you.
That affected me very well.
Wow.
So one
It's
of
getting personal.
one of the toughest questions that someone I was in a relationship with, shout out to her, if she's watching this, she's about to get married to the glory of God.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
And you're still here.
And I'm
And
still
you're still
single.
here.
Oh, ladies. But yes, I didn't know it was going to be a difficult question. Though,
Okay.
When it was asked, until it was asked, actually, I didn't feel. I'm like, okay, and it was about finance. So she asked me straight up, "How much do you earn?"
Okay.
Now, that should be a simple question to
Okay.
answer, but
Okay.
but it was difficult for me. Why was it difficult? I asked myself. I don't know. I mean, I woke up to the culture of people not actually feeling comfortable telling other people their salary.
Okay.
But why they did that, I don't know. I shall know that I just had to align with the culture and be like, okay. So now, if someone should ask, I'm pretty much sure there are people who have the same problem like me. How do we answer the question of how much do you earn? Now, in my mind, what I was thinking of was, why is she really asking me this question? Is she asking me to find out if I earn more than she earns? So there was the insecurity that kicked in to say, why is she really asking me? So how do I answer that question? Is it really necessary? Now let's even start. Is it necessary for me to tell whoever I'm in a relationship with how much I'm making? That's tough question number one. This is personal.
Interesting. And at what point did she ask this question? Is it first dates or first time you guys met, or is it much later?
It was while we were trying to know ourselves. This is beyond the other question. That one wasn't really tough to me, but I know it's tough to other people. Which is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Oh, but that was an interview question.
No. You'll be surprised.
When you want to get a job,
You'll be surprised how many people. In fact, there's a guy that actually asked a girl that question on the first date.
No, but it's a pretty good question.
Yes. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So, is that a good question? Was that the right time to ask the question? Should that even be a question to be asked in the first place?
Okay.
So let's start with those two first.
Okay, so I'll start with the word of how much do you earn? And really, sometimes people need to know what people need to know, right? And what is important to one person, another person may consider insignificant, right? So a lady who probably has been in a relationship before where she found herself having to pay for everything, meet the guy's financial needs and so on, may come out of that and say, never again. In which case, early on in any other relationship she gets into, she will be asking, how much do you earn? Let's know for sure, so that if you're going to be another dependent, I can just cut this thing off right here, right? Because she doesn't want that. So for someone like that, they can ask really early. And for a guy, in fact, some guys, who have a lot of money may be very happy to share that information because it makes them feel good. It's another thing that they can use to portray themselves as being suitable or being eligible or being, like the right guy. Some other people may want to withhold some of that information because they're like, if she knows everything, I may now become at risk because if she didn't love me before, now that she knows how much I earn, she may claim or start acting like she loves me. In some cases, you may just become an endangered species because this person may decide, okay, I have access to him. Let's see, how do we get rid of this guy so we can have his money? I mean, all sorts of things happen. So really, you in the relationship have to kind of look at, who am I dealing with, right? And is it okay for me to share, and to what extent? Because, you have to build trust as you go in relationships, and you have to, your vulnerability has to be measured. You don't just come in and start disclosing everything about yourself and divulging all the information, right? Some are delicate and should be handled with care. So if somebody is really asking, and thus far you do not feel a threat if you share this information, like threats to life, threats to security, and really this is about this person trying to find out more, you know that your answer may or may not affect the outcome or how your relationship progresses from that point on. I think it's okay for you to just actually be real with this person and just let them have an idea. You don't have to be specific, right? but you can speak in ranges. In fact,
Yeah.
sometimes you may
Okay.
not need to say exactly the amount, but you can say what you are able to do with what you earn.
Mm.
So,
Okay.
for instance, I'm not going to disclose the exact amount, but I'm able to pay rent in so kind of place. I'm able to
mhm.
That
afford
should give
this
her an
kind of
idea.
meals.
Yes, that
I'm
should give her
able
an
to
idea.
travel once every year to these kinds of destinations. I'm able to do lunch once a week at this kind of restaurant. Or do you understand? You can speak of your quality of life. You don't have to get down to the detail of exactly how much you earn. Because the fact is, anything can happen. You could be promoted and earn more, or you could change jobs and earn much more, or something could go wrong and you earn less,
Earn less.
or you could even lose the job.
Oh,
Do you
yes.
understand? So, or if it's business, inflows and so on could change. So, really, I think it's about quality of life and what you're doing to maintain that quality of life. You can speak in that regard.
Yeah, there's an answer that my wife
Yeah.
usually gives that I like, which is when you ask that question, and she usually say that's really like a benchmark or a criteria to look out for, or to know, okay, I'm ready to get married. She would usually say, when you can earn enough to take care of yourself and one other person, right? That kind of earning potential or earning power. Earn enough to take care of yourself and one other person. You're good. You're good to go. So for a guy, it becomes some sort of security, right? Some sort of security, so that you begin to think of yourself in terms of what's my earning potential. Now, like, something else she mentioned is the fact that I can earn well enough to take care of myself and one other person staying in Aja, or one other person in Lekki, or one other person on the mainland,
Or one other person in Banana Island.
or one other person
Or
in
something
Banana
like
Island.
Co-Atlantic.
You know,
You know?
you understand? So all of that just gives an idea of how. So because sometimes it's a security question
Yeah.
for ladies, right? So it's not a question that is out of the way.
Yeah.
However, I always like to peg it in the place of what stage in the relationship are you guys?
Okay.
What stage in the
So
relationship?
there's
are
actually
you?
a stage you can
Yes.
ask those questions.
Yes,
Yes.
because typical example, if you want to learn from Abraham and his servant when they were looking for a wife for Isaac, they didn't come and just up front start bringing out the gold trinkets and the nose rings and all of those things, right? They first established, is she the right person? Is she from the right family? Does she have the right status? The things that were important to them, they first confirmed those. Do we even have the consent of the family, right? And when all of that was obvious, yes, you're welcome. Yes, the family says, okay. Yes, the girl meets the criteria that they had defined. That's when the servant now started showing all the other stuff. Yes, at the time they saw 10 camels, they would have gotten an idea that, hey,
yeah.
these people have money. But it is only after they had established certain things that they now started bringing out the gold and the chest of all the treasure that they brought to share with the family. So if you don't yet know if this person even cares about you, if this person is even concerned about your future or what becomes of you, or if this person can stick with you through thick and thin, right? If you haven't established that, that's not the time to start declaring, I have so much money and stuff like that, because at that point you start to introduce what question marks, because now you don't really know, are they there for you, are they there for your money?
So while this is well explained, but while we were talking, a certain demographic of people came to mind, and those are the ladies who, quote and unquote, assume they are late to get married. They're doing well for themselves. They're probably in their late 20s or early 30s, and
Or
mid-30s, and a guy comes up to them, and they pretty much like this guy. Okay, and from seeing the guy first, you will know that, okay, you probably earn more than this guy. How do they secure themselves so the guys don't come in and take advantage of them?
Oh, okay.
How do they answer this question? Do you understand? Or how do they ask the question or answer the question? Say the guy asks them, how much do you earn? I see you drive a Spider. 20. Or I see you drive a Range Rover. How much do you earn?
I like the group that you are addressing, because this is a group where they don't have time to waste.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And really, in that group, because you don't have time to waste, you also don't have time to be reckless.
Exactly.
Meaning that to a great extent, rather than just be sampling anything that is moving about, you may want to rely on a trusted pool.
Okay.
Do you understand? On a trusted pool of people. And this pool can come through people referring, like close friends, close family,
Okay.
people you trust, referring someone to say, hey, I know this person, he's this, he's this, he's that, he's that. That's option one. Option two is you could meet these people in certain circles that you belong to, which means your being social has to be intentional. So you don't just say, oh, I'm just randomly going for a party, I'll just meet a guy. No. You have to think the kind of person that would suit me. Where will I find them? And that's where you have to go. Does it mean you have to go and do another course in some posh business school somewhere so that you meet this kind of people? Yeah, no harm if that will help you to meet those kind of people. Does it mean I go for a certain kind of program in your religious circle, that exposes you to those kind of people? Yes, then do it. Rather than just leave yourself to chance, like, oh, I was walking along the street, some guy approached me. He's really nice, he speaks good English, but you don't know anything about him. He may be so way below your level, right, that it's not practical to say you're going to. But if you really do not care and you're really that desperate, then you shouldn't even be asking how much money he has. You should be ready to just deal with him, whether he has money or not. So there's the part where intentionality comes in. You have to, no man is an island. Sometimes people expect that, oh, it's only my effort that is going to help me find this person. There's a way you tell somebody, I'm looking for this kind of house. Do you have agents that can help me get this kind of house?
Okay.
And they save you time, because you're not just going with agents that will show you some funny places and you will be traveling far to find the house. But somebody has referred you to an agent that gives you the kind of house you're looking for. Same thing with human beings.
Yeah, I think I would take the other part of his question, which is probably marrying downwards. Right now, marrying downwards makes it look bad, but it's not all bad. Now, when I say marrying downwards, I'm saying marrying, quote and unquote, below your level. But this level right now, we're just pegging it at financial level. Now, a guy may be below you financial on the financial ladder, but if you are going to marry him, he cannot be below you on the maturity ladder.
Okay.
There are certain ladders, there are certain platforms on which the person that you are going to marry, even if he does not earn as much as you financially, there are other places where you know that you have a need that the guy cannot be also below you.
Some non-negotiables.
Do you understand?
I understand.
So I give an example. I give an example. This person, what's his level of maturity? Okay. What's his ability to hold a conversation at the level that you are? What's his ability to solve problems at the level that you are? What's his ability to handle situations, handle your emotional state of being? What's his emotional maturity? Do you understand? Now, all of these things, you are taking into cognizance the person's personality, the person's belief systems, right? The person's convictions. Do you understand me? So it means that whoever this person is, even if you may just be better than him financially, because in the financial status, that's where this guy actually needs help.
Exactly. And you could be the one that is going to come in and connect him to the right people and systems that will help him level up financially.
Now, you see this whole thing. It's sweet, though. Theoretically, it is sweet. It is good. But let me paint a practical scenario.
Okay.
It didn't happen to me anyways.
We can never tell.
Just go ahead, paint.
So, a guy meets a lady in church. Perfect place to meet. Or let me not say perfect place to meet, but it's a good place to start searching, right? Meets a lady in church. He likes the girl. She sees him from a distance. Kind of likes him. I mean, he's good. He dresses well and all of that. He's a prayer, like...
The prayer somebody.
You understand? But then, the guy is in the face of his life where he hasn't really settled in financially. Now, in a world, in a generation where money seems to be a huge part of a relationship, not just for the guys alone, for both of them. The guys need money to run the engine of the relationship. The ladies also need money to, he is in that state and he meets a girl. They are both attracted to each other. Sir, this one is for you. How, knowing the role ego plays in the man and what his financial status does to his ego, how do you advise he handles this? They both like each other, but obviously the lady is. So what are the practically, how do you expect him to handle this lady? The lady also needs her man to be financially stable.
Okay, so I will answer this question in I will answer this question in a different way. Let me do it like this. Huh? Okay, let me take it from first principles. See, the interesting thing about the institution of marriage is that there is an institution, and then there is the reality. Okay? So we have to learn and we have to understand that if we are going into marriage, we are going into an institution.
Okay.
Now, if our reality is different from the tenets of that institution, it means that somebody has to be adjusting something because the institution is not going to adjust. Let me rephrase. The institution, in order for it to work, you have to abide by certain principles. Okay? So if you now decide that I'm not going to adjust to these principles, I want to carry my reality and enter the institution, what you get is a product of what you put inside it. So it's a system. Marriage is a system
that cannot be adjusted. With the
marriage
reality of people.
No, marriage is a system, right, that requires that people adjust in order to function well.
So the principle doesn't adjust for you. You
adjust for that's
the
so that's why everywhere I go, I quote something a friend of mine said, Dr. Olaiwola. He said there is marriage as designed by God, and there is marriage as practiced by men. But if men, and this is what I added, I said, if men want the result of what God has designed, it means that men have to adapt to fit the design of God in order to get his results. Men are not going to get the results of God by practicing it the way they want. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if I take that scenario and I bring it to this context that I've painted now, if both of them are going to go into a marriage institution, there definitely have to be points of compromise. Compromise, I'm using in this case, does not mean a loss of value or a reduction of standards. No, compromise means that we are going to have to adjust our expectations in order to do what? To fit the requirement. That some two people that are going in have to have very serious conversations about the matter. Do you understand?
Has to be crystal enough.
No, they are realities. So that's why their realities are going to adjust. See, the problem most people have in a marriage is somebody says, "This I'm not going to shift. This is what I'm not going to shift here." And you are in a marriage. Okay, you better marry yourself. If you're coming into a marriage and you say, "I'm not going to shift here, I can't shift this," bro, go marry yourself. Or sister, go marry yourself. But if you are going to get into a marriage, trust me, you're going to shift many things. Sometimes you don't even know when you have shifted. Do you understand? Because that's what the institution requires. Not a reduction of your values. No. but it is that you guys have to adjust the expectations that govern your
Yeah.
values.
You see, this is why it's very good to sit in the midst of wise men. I'm serious. For you people that are watching,
Yeah, why are we so quiet in the
Yeah,
comment section?
I mean,
Today
What's
they are
going
quiet.
on?
what's going on?
People-
Okay, the word is hitting them. It's hitting you.
I can see Samuel. I can see
relate.
Samuel,
Debbie.
hello.
I can see Omorenze.
Omorenze.
I can see you guys, but you people are just quiet.
Drop this thing. So
Yeah.
now let me
Next
go
question.
Next question.
Yes.
Let me go to the next question.
So we
Now
don't
the next
start.
question has to do with a very a silent issue that is occurring. But
Mhm.
if you really do not direct your torchlight there, you might not actually know. And it's the issue of cohabiting.
Ha! Otilo.
Yeah, it's the issue of cohabiting. Apparently, we have a lot of people that are practically even watching me right now, camera on my face, that are cohabiting. You know yourself. You are cohabiting with that man. So let me paint a practical story of someone who I know. So she left Port Harcourt to Lagos
Mm-hmm.
with the hope of getting a job promised to her by a friend.
Hmm.
Now, she got to Lagos, packed her stuff from Port Harcourt, entered I don't know if she used bus or flight, but she sha found her way in Lagos, met the guy, and found out that there was no job.
Hmm.
In Akwa Ibom, they will say,
Oh, it was a guy that gave her this promise.
Yes, a guy gave her the promise.
I see.
So she got to the guy's place and found out that there actually is no job.
Hmm.
So she doesn't know a lot of people in Lagos, just this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So she was forced to cohabit.
Forced.
I use the word forced. You can correct me. So she found herself cohabiting with the guy,
Yeah.
and from there turned to a chef.
Hmm.
Yes,
For the guy.
For the guy,
Okay.
started cooking, and from cooking food to cooking food.
Mm.
If you know, you know.
Different kinds of foods.
Different kinds of food.
Hmm.
I'm trying to know.
don't understand.
I'm
So you know when somebody asks you, do you want to eat before you eat?
Okay, so maybe that's the work the guy was talking about.
Okay.
But she didn't know.
She didn't know.
Yes.
The job description was not very
Was
clear.
not very clear.
Yes,
The JD
yes.
was not very clear. But she found herself giving food and food. And now at some point she discovered that, man, this thing is really not working. I came here for a job and job is not coming.
Wow.
Then she reached out to one of her friends and be like, this is my situation. And the friend be like, oh, I sympathize with you. I have a very wonderful solution. And the
Okay.
solution is that I have an uncle. My uncle is able to, try and, set you up a bit. So I will introduce you to him. This is practical example. This is real life.
Hmm. Okay.
And she got introduced to this her friend's uncle, and the friend's uncle. So I'm like, oh, yeah. After hearing the story,
Wow.
I'm sorry, I'm mixing up my mom. And uncle was like, oh yeah, sorry, don't worry. You know what? I'll try and help you. Now, mind you, the uncle is married and has kids.
Okay.
So the good Samaritan of the uncle
Yeah.
decides to rent an apartment for her, furnish it,
Wow.
and
He's a good uncle, oh.
you know.
Lord, where are my uncles?
I'm smelling
Don't smell
a
it.
dead rat.
He's a good uncle.
Good uncle.
decides to
Let's
be a
see
good-
where this benevolence is going. I
Like,
continue.
decides to be a good uncle.
Because I would have thought the uncle would give her money to go back to Port Harcourt.
No,
But continue,
when she's
I mean-
already in Lagos.
Mhm.
Set up the house for her.
Yes.
And be like, you know what, don't worry, everything is all right. But, without the knowledge of his wife and kids.
Hmm.
You get? And not just that, he now, helps her get a job. So now, it's more like she has a gun on her head.
Wow.
So
Interesting. And I just think that this is a case where cohabiting became some kind of bondage,
okay,
right? In fact, in some settings, and what that guy did, what that friend of hers did, could even be looked at as human trafficking, right? Because this is the same thing that happens to a lot of people. You see them telling somebody, oh, there's a job for you. We have a job for you in this country, so and so. We'll help you get your papers and all of that, and you come into the country to work. And then the people are all excited. They leave home and they get this visa or whatever and head to that country. And you get there and they tell you, well, actually, there's no job. Then you're now, okay, so how am I going to cope? How am I going to survive? Well, we can't help you. And then you're really desperate, and then they'll now start telling you stuff like, well, if you don't mind, there's this job, that you could do, but... And then before you know it, you're a commercial sex worker and stuff like that, or you're doing all kinds of crazy things to earn money. What was it? And it's basically this. So human trafficking has different forms. The ones that people are kidnapped and the ones that people are lured with all these fake promises. So before you wake up and say, I'm living...
Basically, the ones that people walk into.
Exactly. Walk into.
so so in this analysis now, you're saying it's the guy's fault.
Part one, the guy obviously had ulterior motives.
Because
And
I
for
saw
whatever
somebody-
reason...
I saw
Yes.
somebody ask a question there. First, as in how? You understand that question now is the question that you need to answer. As the first, as in how?
Because you are living... I mean, before you... They say a bird in hand, right? Before you resign from your job in Port Harcourt and pack your load and start moving to Lagos, you should be sure that you have this job. You should have a letter or something. You should have heard from their HR and not from your friend. Unless your friend is HR. Do you understand? But then there should be some kind of official letter. You don't just shut everything down and move, and then you are resuming at his house. Haba, how is this thing happening? So the guy set the trap well, lied well, obviously knew what he wanted to get in the end. She was possibly also cleaning, if you check, not just cooking.
Also what?
Also cleaning the house for him.
No, obviously, she
So
won't.
she,
He goes out to work.
exactly, more like you. I'm providing a roof over your head. You do all these other things.
In a way, the guy, she was doing a job. In a way.
That's what I'm
He
saying
don't
now.
have-
The
she
job
don't
this guy,
understand the
She
the
didn't understand the JD.
yes. Do you understand? And then from there, she now found herself in this bind, and then needing help, ended up in another situation. So my question is, someone may say, oh, she's doing okay now, has her own place. He has helped to connect her to a job and stuff. My question is, what is the future for her? Did she have plans of having her own family, being a wife and a mother? This guy who is already married, will he come and marry her?
Excuse me.
So what's the
excuse me,
future?
excuse
What's
me,
the future?
Who family help?
Yes.
Who family help? Because
She might
right
not
now,
actually want to
she's-
settle.
Right now, she's a, permit me, is a lucky babe, has a house, and is doing a job somewhere that the good Samaritan uncle got for her. Yes. So as a good Samaritan uncle, the question I'm afraid to ask is, what is the Samaritan getting from this
No,
transaction?
She has two reporting lines.
Yes. Okay.
Her actual job.
And uncle
Uncle.
Samaritan. Okay.
So she's hardworking, no?
Yeah, she's
But I'm not saying
working-
the parents is hardworking.
No, she's hardworking.
She's doing a lot.
She's
She's
doing
doing
a
a lot.
lot. She's doing a lot. Now, but my point is, in this case, right, we need to look at fundamental issues. And one fundamental there is, why did she pack up and leave an 80K paying job? Is it 80K or 60K?
Within
that range. 80K paying job in Port Harcourt in order to come to Lagos. Why?
Okay.
One, we can say it's in search of the good life, soft life. Two, it's a promise of something that she does not have. Perhaps exposure, perhaps
More opportunities.
more opportunities.
The kind of career she desired.
Maybe. But at the back of it, there's something my wife usually say. Can we find greed anywhere there?
Somewhere there.
Can we find greed somewhere in there? At the base, is it possible that this is poverty initiated? Do you understand? Now, sometimes when we talk about poverty, people think it is just a lack of money. Poverty is a mindset or a state of mind, right? And it's a state of mind that even in the face of seeming affluence, you can be impoverished in your thinking. And because you are impoverished in your thinking, the decisions you make will always be looking for the next thing that can give me the next big thing.
You know, for me, what always, should I say, worries me or concerns me is the fact that a number of times you have people who say, oh, it's because I was in a bind, or it's because things didn't work out well. That is why I now decided to do this thing that I did. And this thing that you did goes against your values and so on, right? But you say, I had no choice, you know, or it's because I needed this money or something, you know. But really look at it. Must you have the money? What will happen if you don't have the money? If you don't have the money, if you don't follow this opportunity in Lagos, what will happen is that you remain in Port Harcourt and you continue earning the 80,000 naira until you do something about it. Something good, something legitimate, something in line with your values. Example, okay, what else can I do? Can I start a side hustle? Can I sell something? Can I make something? I mean, there are options that you can explore that do not have to do with you becoming a commercial sex worker or becoming a high whatever escort, or you know, all those names that you can call it, right? And you still have your dignity, you still maintain your values. Do you understand? You can do those things. But in a number of times you see people using, I had no choice. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have been able to pay my rent. Must you continue to live there? You know, sometimes people make it like they take certain decisions, like I can't go back to the village. What's wrong if you go back to the village? Go back to the village and plan something and start from somewhere and build back up.
Baby,
that
point you are pushing, that back to the village point.
That back to the village is very key.
What's really wrong with the village, Seth?
After testing the good life?
What's the good life? Is it traffic? Is it waking up by
No,
5 o'clock or 4 o'clock?
She has her own house. She has her own house.
But ma, I actually want, this one is this is very, very personal to me. This particular one, because I see on a constant basis, ladies especially, people say they are emotionally vulnerable. Oh, let's just say that. Who fall into these traps? Okay. Now, at the end of this, please, I would really like you to give a very strong advice to ladies who probably find themselves in situations like this. But my question is, are we saying that there are no legitimate reason a lady can cohabit with a man? Okay.
See, something about cohabiting that people need to realize. If you are somebody who has values, if you are a Christian, for instance, and you want to keep your faith, right? You know that, number one, you should flee fornication. Fornication can come in different ways. Some people think fornication only comes when you sleep, when you are in love with somebody. But you don't realize that an event where you are low and the other person is low, and this lowness happens at the same time, whether you are in love with them or not, can still result in fornication. Do you understand? Because there's sometimes that you just say, there's a way I'm feeling right now. Do you understand? So if you're feeling that way and the person is also feeling that way, somebody that you considered as roommate, this nonsense boy, I'm just managing to stay in the same house with him, can end up becoming the person that you had sex with.
One night.
Because it just happened that it happened at the same time. And you know when
One night.
do you understand? So that whole thing of making it look like it's not a big deal. When you look at what is prescribed in scriptures is a man shall leave his father and his mother and be joined to his wife. The joining was not supposed to happen with until the person has become.
Not supposed to be joined to his side chick or joined
to a friend and stuff like that. Do you understand?
They are living together, friends.
Yes, because the fact is you create opportunity for things to go wrong, and you can just build in so much complication and complexity and such confusion into your life if these things actually go wrong. Do you understand? So flee flee means run away. It means don't create the
Disappear.
conditions for it to happen. You say, oh, we were joining funds to get
pay the
the
rent.
house because we needed to live somewhere closer to the office and stuff like that. Why don't you find a sister in the Lord
I don't really
who
like
you can join these funds with?
Ladies have
Ladies
a lot
have
of
a lot of
problem.
And
Yes.
meanwhile, you yourself, you're a lady.
I mean,
So that means you too, you have a lot of problems.
Sir, me, I want you to speak to this. For the guys that sincerely, as a gentleman,
I like the way you're saying this sincerely. I can feel the sincerity. And I
Of course.
continue.
for the guys that sincerely want to help a sister,
Yes.
like she's stranded.
Wow.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
Damsel in
In
distress.
distress.
Oh,
And you
terrible.
know, sir, you know, she comes to you and be like, I don't have anywhere else to go to.
No, at this point, I have to keep my phone down
You know,
because
I don't
because,
have anywhere.
because I need to pull up one story from my past where I actually have been in the situation where there was a damsel in distress that
Please
needed
share with us.
that needed my help. You understand? And I was a very
Nice.
promising Christian brother
Hallelujah.
who cannot see a sister in need
And let
Turn
her
a
go like
blind
that.
eye.
and turn a blind eye.
Hey.
Oh God. Your reward is in heaven, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. But I almost got a reward on earth I didn't plan for. Do you understand? But in the process of helping a sister out, I got into a relationship that I didn't even know I was in a relationship.
Bah, boom. Like, how do you know? How are you in a relationship and you
didn't
don't
know that? Yeah, so I didn't know.
Because somebody has started calling you her boyfriend.
Somebody has started getting jealous when they see you with another sister. What were you doing with her?
I was being nice. I was just helping.
He was giving a shoulder to cry on.
Yes, I was being very supportive.
Yeah, because she just broke up with somebody.
Yeah, do you understand? So in the process, I'm just trying to paint this process for you, right? I got into that relationship, and I didn't know I was in a relationship. It needed another of my friends, a sister, to let me know that, oh boy,
You don't enter a relationship.
you don't enter relationship. Oh.
Now
I
you
said,
don't know.
no, I'm just helping this sister. Said, no, but you guys are. At which point I started looking for help. Who will help me break a relationship I didn't know I entered? Now, but the bottom line is this kind of relation. You won't even know when you enter it because sometimes you are just helping the sister out in the house, and then you are coming up, and somehow she has to wear towel on this thing and cross the hallway at the same time that you are coming out.
You were just innocently coming to remove water from the fridge.
The fridge.
Yes. But she just happened to come out from the one bathroom that is in the house at that
towel.
time.
With towel on the towel is usually on the
On
distance.
this thing.
Yeah.
She's well covered. I mean, she's coming out from the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or if she wants to set a very serious trap for you, she will change the time that she takes her bath and refuse to lock the door.
Oh!
And it will just
As
happen
a
to
very
coincide.
honest brother that you are.
That you are.
You understand?
Yes.
So my point is, my point is really that when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex, right? See, I always make the joke. It's a joke, but that joke is my reality. I don't read the Bible to preach or to teach. I read the Bible to live, and the Bible is a very complete book, right? It's one of the books I live by, and what it says is that the way of a man and a maid is one of the 4 mysteries on earth. It says there are 3 mysteries known to man. The 4th is a wonder. And the 4th is what? The way of a man and a woman. It's a wonder to both heaven and earth. So all those brothers that are thinking that they are very strong,
We can handle
they are
this.
spiritually gallant.
When I
And-
prayed, the
and
room shakes.
The room
Calm
shakes.
down.
So if a sister comes, if a sister is in need, I can keep her in my house. Nothing will happen. The
Glory.
wonder. There's a one.
Seven wonders of God.
Yes. It may actually start like nothing can happen until something happens. Do you understand? So I usually would say, please. Eventually, how I got help was that the sister who happened to be on set right now helped me to deliver the
Glory
brother.
to God.
They helped me to deliver the brother. And from that point, sister needs help, sister help a sister out. See, the wisdom from that, If it's a brother, yes, we can be dealing
We
with
can,
brothers, yes. But a sister needs help. Can we find a sister
Yes.
that will help
will
a
help.
sister
Do,
out?
do the
Bros,
connection.
bro,
Immediately
bro,
find a sister to
bro,
help
guys,
the sister.
help yourself.
Yes.
Help yourself. Let's leave all this macho this thing. When
Yeah.
woman catch your mumu button, you'll be surprised.
Mm.
You'll be shocked. It will
Let's
shock
see.
you.
We have a couple
Yeah,
of comments
let's
that have
go.
come in
Let's
now. Our
see.
comment section is live, so let's go up and take some of those comments. Are we missing anything?
I'm sorry, I must
if
say.
she,
It says
please
if
read.
she decides not to lock the door, put both outside the door once she's in. You do the locking.
Interesting. Okay, let's see. Queen Debbie says he should flee from every appearance of
of
evil.
evil,
Mhm.
of evil,
Mhm.
yes.
And you know,
yes.
the thing about this thing is when they enter, for them to leave is not a problem.
That
Daddy
the
KB,
KB,
Mr. Too Nice, yes.
Yeah, I was just a nice guy.
So,
all
ma,
around.
Yeah.
I want to say this. Now we are all, when we talk about fleeing from the appearance of evil, it's almost geared towards the guys, and it's like the ladies are exempted from fleeing from appearance of evil.
Mhm.
No.
Do you understand?
Mm.
But I want you to speak to the vulnerability of ladies when it has to do with their emotions.
Mhm.
Why is it that guys can guide their emotions sometimes,
Mhm.
sometimes, but how come it's difficult for ladies to be emotionally aware of themselves? I don't know how else to put it. Like why are ladies prone to
Emotionally vulnerable.
exactly, why are they emotionally vulnerable?
Hmm.
How can
It's-
they guide themselves,
it's
especially
wiring.
when they are in a world full of prey guys that are hunters?
Mhm.
Like the guy that will tell a girl to come and stay.
You know, Bobby, before you say what you want to say, because I see the thing is near your mouth, I also want to flip the script a bit to say an obvious response that we have begun to see is that the ladies, in trying to revenge the hurt that guys as hunters have done to them, they are also prepping as hunters.
As hunters.
Mm.
That's another. That's a whole script entirely.
Mm.
But then, before this one,
Yeah. Okay. So something that you need to know is that for ladies, the capacity to love anything is there, right? And when I say anything, I mean anything. From loving cats to loving dogs, just caring for anything, to
understand the
loving
love.
children, to do you understand? To wanting to nurture things, to wanting to groom things, to wanting to make things better. I mean, it's there. It's part of your motherly instinct to want to care for things, right? And sometimes you don't realize that something that just starts out as just general care. I mean, you see some ladies that are basically trying to care for their classmates, make sure their classmates are okay in school and stuff like that. Just stuff, right? But the fact is, you can go from just wanting to, and in fact, you may go from saying to yourself, I'm not interested, I don't have any plans to do anything nice or to help this person. But over time, you want to fix something, you want to advise the person, you want to make sure this thing is working, you see something that you need to fix. And then by the time you're doing, there's something about love when you're sowing seeds. It's like as you're putting one stone in the basket, you become more vested, right? You add another one. As you're doing all these acts of care and kindness, over time, you actually mean well for the person. And the more you mean well, next thing it's developing into different kinds of care, right? So you may start out saying, I don't have any plans. We're just living in the same house. We're just sharing the rent. So I'm using one of the rooms, he's using one of the other rooms. One thing leads to another, and before you know it, you are in a position where you're saying, it's your child, and the guy is saying, I beg. It was just once. It was just once that it happened.
And
That it
just
happened. You
once.
mean just that once? I'm the
Just
father. I
once.
beg. Don't lie to me.
It's
It could
one
be.
touch.
It could be anything. But you don't actually want that. So you have to protect yourself. If you stay long enough, women have the tendency to eventually be devoted to whatever they spend the most time with. Do you understand?
Ma, you should please repeat that
No.
part. No. Very sure.
Because it's a tendency that is there. You actually have to be very intentional about fighting to not let it become your reality. Do you understand? Because I mean, it's the same thing that they'll say Stockholm syndrome and stuff like that. You stayed long enough with this person, over time, you now say, oh, you've fallen in love with the person that captured you or the person that kidnapped you or something. But it takes a lot for you to for you to not have that outcome. But how strong will you be? For how long will you be able to maintain the emotional fortitude to not give in? Do you understand? And there's something about just being in, especially if the person that you're living in the same house with creates a safe space and makes you feel like, oh, I can let down my hair. You begin to feel like this is home. And then homely instincts start setting in. Do you understand? So really, ladies, honestly, just keep yourself away from these things that make you vulnerable, and eventually will have circumstances or outcomes or complications that you are not ready for. If you don't want to become pregnant for that guy, Biko, just don't go and be cohabiting. Part one. And then if you don't want to go against your values, because you really don't know when that low day will come. And if the low day comes and the guy is also on a low day, or the guy has really been waiting for the day that you will have a low day, then it's going to happen.
In fact, I actually want to pull the rug out from under that conversation that you're having, which is to say, number one, there is a pre-assumption in your mind that there are values in place. There's a pre-assumption that the lady has certain values and the guy has certain values. If that assumption is not right, it means that anything can go.
It's free for all.
It's free for all. So there must
And
be
maybe
values.
they'll call themselves roommates with benefits.
Yes, roommates with benefits. So that's because there's a degradation of the values. Number two is that the presence or the absence of values determines how high or how low the borders, the gates, the boundaries we put around ourselves will be. If my value is not that serious, my gate can be so low that anybody can climb over and enter inside.
Yeah.
So values are the things that preserve us. They preserve us. Okay? Good. Number three is the last cocoa of the matter.
Which is
the fact that we talk about the values, we talk about the boundaries, and then the thing that worries me is, why is it that everybody wants to enjoy the benefits of a marriage, but they don't want to marry?
You are just about to answer the question. I'm not my glasses, so I can't see well. You're just about to answer a question that someone dropped. I don't know if it's Kiki. Please help me with that.
But why is it that guys can't marry a lady without getting them pregnant?
Now you see this, it's a reality right now.
really.
Yeah.
So that's I'm careful about bringing it out because it's something that worries me. It's like everybody wants. I want the good thing that you have, but I don't want to pay for it. I want to get it. I want to enjoy it. And for me, I'm not even looking. Okay, so some people will tell you, I'm not going to get pregnant. So let's even assume you don't get pregnant. Let's assume you don't get pregnant, but the guy is looking for something that is available in the institution of marriage, but he wants to tap it and knock it before he gets in. But what that means is that if he can tap it and knock it, why does he need to now get in?
Yeah.
What's the reason why
You're already
he should
getting
get
the
in?
milk. Why do you need to buy the cow?
Why do you need to buy the cow? Why do you need to buy the cow?
Yeah. Yeah, so that statement, right? I guess it's like you've said, it's happening in some cases. But I would also like to tell you that there are a lot of people who are getting married without getting pregnant, and there are lots of people who have committed that they will wait until they are married
Values.
before they indulge in sex with their partner. Okay, so it's now, who is your circle? If you're so surrounded by people who are doing these other things, and you consider those things as not right and they go against your values, then you probably need to change your circle. In fact, not probably, you need to change your circle. If not, soon enough, you'll become one of the number.
And please don't assume that everybody is doing it. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's not everybody that is
Not
doing
everybody
it.
that is
Because
doing it.
The problem is that the 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 propensity for perversion is very loud. Right? So the people that are doing the bad things, they are very loud and they are on the streets of social media, which is where most young people go.
Yes.
Yes.
For their rest, for their
Yes.
recreation, that's where they go. And perversion is so loud there. If it is very loud there and it is beginning to shape your mindset, get out
Yes.
and come to the streets of reality,
Yeah.
where you find people that are not perverted.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes you should check, what am I, if you see that you're beginning to follow a certain school of thought, right? You're beginning to be so fixated on the fact that this is how this thing is. And you know that the way that thing is not the way it's meant to be. Just go and what have you been watching on social media? Because possibly you have just been reading that story, and then they bring the next one, and then they bring the next one, and now all of a sudden that is your worldview. You think that that's what is obtainable. Intentionally go and look for so since you want to be on social media, right? Intentionally go and look for a different narrative. Example, look for couples that waited. Example, look for what they call that thing when they make the vow, celibacy vow and stuff like that. Look for groups that are doing that. By the time you start liking 1, 2, 3 of their videos,
will just start giving you
exactly,
all of that.
to start giving you more of such people who made those vows. You now start seeing couples who say, we waited and then this. Some even come and tell you the first night, this is how it was after we waited. It's still on the same social media. So what have you subscribed to? So don't allow thoughts, just one idea to form in your mind, and you think that that is basic, that's the standard, that's what's happening now. Everybody's doing it, and then you now jump in. No.
Please, somebody said I
Yes.
can barely hear KJ. Can you adjust your mic upwards?
Can you hear me now?
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah,
something people have not realized is that time don't finish.
No, now.
What?
Oh, wow.
You have
And
one
we still have
minute.
plenty questions.
You have 1 minute left for this conversation.
No.
You know how they say you have 1 minute left for this call.
Almost. Yeah, well, it is what it is.
It is what it
Let's just take one. Let's just take a round of. Something came to my mind
Yes.
about the person about that lady that the uncle, the Good Samaritan uncle,
Yeah.
is helping.
is helping, right? You need to understand that there's a lot that. Okay, I want to say it this way. We need to always pay attention to what we are selling in order to get what we are receiving right now. What are you mortgaging in the future in order to attain the present?
Yeah.
So if the uncle is giving you a house, is giving you a job, is increasing the quality of life,
What price are you paying?
what price are you paying?
What are you not getting?
What are you not getting? What are you losing in tomorrow
Yeah.
that he's buying for you
Yeah.
today?
Yeah, because some people, I mean, I'm sure you guys have seen this post many times of people who say, oh, we work in the hospital, and when people are dying, their last words, they're often not asking or wishing for more money or saying, oh, I wish I had gotten that promotion. But it's always about family. It's always about people. Who do you have in your corner in those last moments, in those times when you are down, in those times when there's no one else? Or are you going to die alone because you were busy chasing money and because you gave up family just to keep a roof over your head that was provided by somebody else who has family? So can you not trust